What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Lee Walk 71, replace day with a 4, and I'm here with my WWE Fastlane review for you guys. 2019 edition. I got my years messed up. Overall, this wasn't a bad show. It was actually pretty good. I actually liked a lot of matches, especially the US title match, the WWE title match, and the last couple minutes of the Shield match was actually really intense. I actually messed with it. But let's get this review. Let's get this show on the road, I should say. We started out with the pre-show match, which actually I watched it and it wasn't that bad. Now, there's been pre-show matches that have been good, and there's been pre-show matches that have been pretty bad. Let me adjust my seat real quick. There's been a lot of bad pre-show matches, and there's been a lot of good ones. For example, the Cruiserweight title match. This one had New Day versus the brand new team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, or as I like to call Nakamura Rusev or whatever. I gotta work on that. This match was pretty good. It started off pretty standard with everybody getting their stuff off and stuff like that, but the last couple of minutes with the false finishes really got me invested in this match. You got one false finish where Rusev hits the Machka kick for a near fall. Then you had New Day almost hit the midnight hour before Lana got involved. Shinsuke started going crazy. But we got to the end of the match essentially, and Shinsuke got taken out, and they hit the midnight hour on Rusev and got the pinfall and got the victory. Also during the pre-show, right before the match, there was a segment that's going to play into the show actually, where Kofi Kingston's backstage because you got his title match taken away. So he was talking with the New Day, and he had got somebody came up to him and was like, Kofi, Vince McMahon wants to talk to you about the WWE Championship match tonight. So he went to go see Vince, and then they had their match. But that's going to play off later into the actual show itself. So we actually open up the official show with the SmackDown Tag Team titles matches. We had the brand new champions who won at the last pay-per-view. No, not Elimination Chamber. No, it was Elimination Chamber. I'm tripping. The Usos defending their titles against the quote-unquote best tag team in the world of The Miz and Shane McMahon. This match, it was okay. I would say this match in particular, and there's a couple other matches, it seemed pretty standard with a lot of the stuff. It was Miz was in his hometown, so he got the biggest pop. They had Miz's dad in the crowd because he's essentially been a part of this storyline inadvertently because the Miz wants to prove to his dad that he's good. I mean, it's like as if the Miz never won the WWE Championship and main evented WrestleMania and won the match against John Cena. I guess you can't beat John Cena and impress your father. You have to win a tag team title with Shane McMahon to impress your father. Whatever. Miz got the biggest crowd, had Cleveland Browns attire on. Like I said, the match was pretty standard. Miz was doing a lot of stuff in this match that he doesn't normally do, like springboard moves and diving to the outside. Shane McMahon did Shane McMahon shit, punching, kicking. I would say my favorite part of the match was, okay, so I believe it was Jimmy Uso in the corner. Jey Uso was on the top rope. And what happened was Shane McMahon got to the top. And while Jimmy Uso was in the corner, it looked like Shane was going to go for the coast to coast. Miz was on the floor. I mean, not on the floor. He was in the center of the ring, right? And as soon as they just had a standoff, they just both jumped. And Shane McMahon ended up drop kicking Jey Uso in midair. Like they both were in the air and he kicked them in there. That was crazy. I think he got a holy shit chant or something like that. But the ending of this match saw the Miz try to go for a splash, and I believe, who was it? It was Jimmy who got the knees up and then eventually had hit like an inside cradle or a small package and won the match like that. So the Usos win. They retain. Hopefully, this sets up for the Usos versus the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania, which will be sure to be a fire-ass match at Mania. After the match, though, we got a heel turn from Shane McMahon as they were as Shane McMahon was consoling the Miz after he lost because he feels like he just loses all the time. They went to Miz's father, raised his hand, all that type of stuff. And I thought the Miz was going to turn heel. No, we got the Shane McMahon heel turn. Now, this was rumored for a while now that Shane McMahon was going to do the heel turn, but it was going to be against Daniel Bryan. But then I guess the plans got scrapped for a heel turn. Well, now we got the heel turn. And I don't know if I like it because Shane McMahon as a heel was actually interesting. But, I don't know. The Miz is just a good heel as well. So him as a babyface wasn't really that good. But I guess we'll see what happens from here on out. So Shane McMahon basically clotheslined Miz behind his back. beat him up, hit him with the chains, which if you don't know what the chains are, it's basically where he just punches people repeatedly. Got that from a streamer. Kicked Miz, punched him. He went up to George Mizanin and he like grabbed him by the face and pushed him into his seat, which is technically assault to a fan. But I guess because of Shane McMahon, he can get away with it. His father is the creator of this company. And then he hit Miz with some weird triangle choke, and Miz, his father came and helped him, I guess. Yada yada yada. That's what happened. So, let me make sure I'm reading this. Okay, that was a pre-show. Okay, so the next match we ended up getting was the SmackDown Women's title matches. We had Mandy Rose take on the SmackDown Women's Champion, Asuka, who hasn't been on TV in a very long time. And I feel like they're doing this to make you forget that she tapped out Becky Lynch, but it is what it is. So Mandy Rose ended up getting a win on Asuka, not on this show. Got you. She beat Asuka on SmackDown, and I was very pissed about that because I'm like, how do you, like, I feel like WWE is not taking Asuka serious even when she wins and has the title. This match was very short. I thought this match should have like been all of 10 seconds. Just like a lot of Asuka's matches in NXT when she was champion, she would literally just defeat chicks that were very beneath her in like 10 seconds. And it was like, whoa. So this match, basically Asuka was whooping Mandy Rose's ass. Eventually, Sonya Deville got involved. Mandy Rose hit a couple of her V-triggers, essentially. And she almost went for a finisher. Asuka got out of it. The ending of this match, after Asuka was just decimating Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville was trying to grab a kendo stick. Mandy Rose slipped off the apron that was like in the ring because she was trying to get the weapon. And then Asuka hit her with basically a black mass, a spinning heel kick. And she actually connected the boot to the face. And she ended up winning the match, retained. After that, Mandy Rose looked visually upset, and she tried to push off Sonya Deville. And yeah, so there we go. And if this makes any sense, on the pre-show, they had a segment where EC3 was trying to holler at Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville had basically told EC3 to stay away. I wonder if they're trying to set something up by having Mandy Rose get rid of Sonya Deville and then pair her up with EC3 and do something with that. That would be interesting. But then again, it's WWE. Who knows what they're doing? Whatever they do, they end up going totally left from wherever it started, because that's what they did with a few feuds, and a current feud right now is what they're doing with. But I'll talk about that later. So after that, we see Kofi Kingston. He's outside of Vince McMahon's office. The New Day show up. They was like, "Oh, why have you been here for like an hour?" So they went into Vince McMahon's office. And they went up, they was like, "Oh, Kofi Kingston's been here for 11 years. You say you listen to the fans. Well, the fans want Kofi." He was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm making the WWE Championship a triple threat match, and you're in it. So, and that match is next." And at first I was like, what the fuck? Why are we having the WWE Championship match on the third match on the pay-per-view? So Kofi Kingston comes out. Then a producer or somebody goes up to the ring announcer, and the match is changed to a 2-on-1 handicap match. Tornado handicap match, which if you don't know what a tornado tag match is, it's basically no tag in, so it's just an all-out brawl. In Kofi's case, he has to fight The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And the match didn't last that long. It got a "this is boring" chant, because basically The Bar was just beating up Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston got like offense every now and then before they hit Kofi with like 2 bro kicks. And then the New Day came out to try to help him. And then they did a callback from the pre-show where Rusev and Nakamura attacked them. Biggie got hit with a Kinshasa. Xavier Woods got hit with a Machka kick. Then the Bar hit their finisher on Kofi and won the match. And that was pretty much it. See, a lot of people are saying, like, what the fuck is going on? But you have to realize this is setting up Kofi for the WWE title match that we all want. Because I do want Kofi Kingston in a WWE title match at WrestleMania. Hopefully he'll win it and just, like, carry the title for a month. I just need him to be WWE champion. The 8-year-old inside of me needs him to be WWE champion. So yeah, so this is just setting up for the story with Kofi Kingston being on the title chase for the WWE Championship at Mania. So after that, we got a replay. Oh man, this was the funniest part. I have to mention this because this is like very important throughout the show. So throughout the show, after a lot of matches, Elias would just come out and just perform a song, and he would just take shots at The Miz, Cleveland, and whatever else happened. Like, he came out I think after the Usos match and talked crap. And then after this match, he did it too, which was for the Raw Tag Team title matches. We had the NXT call-ups of Ricochet and Aleister Black, who are teaming up on the main roster, and coincidentally teaming up in NXT in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And if you want to see good tag team wrestling, I'm not saying this was bad tag team wrestling, but if you want to see some good tag team wrestling, go watch the opening rounds of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on the recent episode of NXT. That shit was fire. We had Chad Gable and Bobby Roode versus the Raw Tag Team Champions, The Revival. This match was cool. Like, this was another one of those matches that just started off pretty basic, but once you got to like the last couple of minutes of it, it got really lit. So, you know, everybody got their offense in. There was one part where Ricochet hit a Hurricanrana on Scott Dawson to all the other competitors, but it looked really dangerous because Scott Dawson didn't like get launched into the competitors. He like almost landed on the apron, but he got caught, so that was good. Ricochet hit a shooting star press for a near fall. Aleister Black hit it, got his offense in. Chad Gable hit a Chaos Theory for a near fall. That was the part that set up for the shooting star press. We get to the end of this match, essentially. Ricochet goes for a dive, but it's like the dive he did at the recent takeover where he jumped over the turnbuckle to the outside, but in the middle of his dive, he got tagged by Chad Gable. Chad Gable hit a, what would you call it? A crossbody onto Scott Dawson, right? And they both traded pinfalls before Scott Dawson caught Chad Gable, tossed him on the ropes, and then they hit the Shatter Machine for the victory. The Revival retained, but after the match, Bobby Roode attacked both of the Revival, hit the glorious DDT on Scott Dawson before Aleister Black hit a Black Mass, then hit a running knee on Dash Wilder, and then Ricochet hit the 630. Oh no, he also hit his I don't know what you would call it. What's the name of that move? I'm trying to let me look it up to make sure it's the correct name of this move. I don't remember the name. You'll know it if you've seen a Ricochet match. You know he does it. It's like basically kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. You'll know when you see it. But he had some move, then hit the 630. So after that, we get the Fatal 4-Way match that was made literally the day of the pay-per-view, because originally there was a match between Andrade and Rey Mysterio, and it was going to be on the kickoff show, but I didn't think WWE was actually going to be dumb enough to put Andrade and Rey Mysterio on the kickoff show when they could have their final blow-off match at WrestleMania. So we ended up getting R-Truth versus Andrade versus Rey Mysterio versus the brand new WWE United States Champion Samoa Joe. No, he did not win the title tonight. He retained. He actually won the title on the recent episode of SmackDown in the same Fatal 4-Way match after R-Truth was having his open challenge. This match was actually really entertaining. It was very fast-paced. It kept my eyes on the screen. There was no down moments of the match. There was always something going on. It got like the beginning of the match, it turned up where Joe took out all the competitors and hit a dive and took all of them out. You had one clean spot where Andrade got hit with a Hurricanrana by Rey Mysterio while he was like on R-Truth's shoulders, so that was nice. What else? Rey Mysterio Hurricanrana Andrade to the outside on the floor. Samoa Joe went crazy. R-Truth even went crazy. He hit that axe kick, which is like the best looking axe kick I've ever seen. And that's like over Booker T, honestly, because he does the kick, but then he also does a spin with it, which is pretty cool. Rey Mysterio hits a 619 on Samoa Joe before getting hit with the Coquina clutch, and he eventually taps out and Samoa Joe retains. I would encourage you to go out and see this match. It was actually good. A lot of good stuff in this match. It was basically what their match was on SmackDown, but they gave him more time to do more stuff. And we got Andrade doing the Three Amigos in there. That was nice. He did his little twist dive to the outside. Zelina Vega got involved. She super kicked R-Truth before Carmella like attacked her. So that was something. But yeah, man, it was good. It was very good, very fast paced. Like, it was just stuff going on to keep me visually invested in the match. So that's all I can ask for. Samoa Joe retained. Hopefully this means that WWE is going to do more good things with Samoa Joe as the US champion. So the next match we ended up getting was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, as we have Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. Now, if you want me to be honest, This match was okay. It was pretty standard. Like, you would catch this match on Monday Night Raw on the 3rd hour, and you would just be like, oh, okay. You had Nia Jax and Tamina do things. You had Sasha Banks and Bayley do things. And the match ended with Bayley hitting a not a sneaky pin. It was like a Hurricanrana pin on Nia Jax. It wasn't that much of a match. What really mattered was what happened after the match. So after the match, Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka immediately attacked the Boston Hook Connection. Super kicks Bayley outside, throws Sasha over the table. Now, earlier in the match, they had Beth Phoenix on commentary, and Beth Phoenix looked at Tamina Snuka, gave her like one of those mean looks before she pushed Tamina and then got attacked by Nia Jax. They beat up on Beth Phoenix. I actually popped because I'm like, oh, Beth Phoenix is coming back. Oh, word. They hit the leg drop on Beth Phoenix before Natalya ran down to make the save for her best friend, Beth Phoenix. You know, they also have had history with tag team matches on that tag team match at TLC. Tag team tables match, I should say. So it looks like we're setting up for a triple threat women's tag team match, or maybe a fatal four if they add the Iconics in there, because they have been teasing the Iconics versus Boston Hook Connection for the women's tag team titles. And then I've also been hearing that they're trying to do multi-people matches at Mania so they can get everybody involved, which I guess if you're going to do it, then do it, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just glad to see that we might be getting Beth Phoenix back for one more match at least. So that's pretty interesting. And Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka were able to get their heel heat even though they had to take the L. So that was cool. So after that, we get the Triple Threat WWE Championship match, but it wasn't with Kofi Kingston. Instead, it was Mustafa Ali. Now, a lot of people were asking, why is Mustafa Ali in the match? And I'm asking the same question. I honestly don't know why Mustafa Ali was in this match. Now, me joking wise, Mustafa Ali is just taking back what was taken from him from Kofi. But this match might be my match of the night. I really like this match. Like, the fans try to shit on it, but they realized they couldn't shit on it because it was really good of a match. You know what I'm saying? So Mustafa Ali came out and he essentially got the Rey Mysterio treatment where the fans just chanted random shit, chanted for Kofi Kingston, all that type of stuff. But the match was actually really good, especially the ending of this match. The ending of this match was amazing. Without going, you know, back and forth, I could just tell you what my favorite parts of the match. I liked Kevin Owens as a face. Well, Kevin Owens as a face is actually interesting. Now, I've always liked him as a heel, but him as a face, he's able to do more of his high-flying stuff, which I like him doing. So he was able to do his cannonball dive to the outside, cannonballs off the apron. Eric Rowan got involved in this match before he got like super kicked by Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali, and then Hurricanrana into the ring post. So that was something. Daniel Bryan got involved in this match. He threw a lot of knees at people, a lot of kicks. You know, Daniel Bryan shit. If we can get to like the last couple minutes of this match, I know that seems to be a recurring theme in this review. Let me get to the last couple minutes of this match, but that's where it really picked up for me. We got to a point where Mustafa Ali hit a 450 splash off the top rope to the apron where Daniel Bryan was. Mustafa Ali was in this match essentially to get his shit off, but also to take a pin. And if you've watched Mustafa Ali in 205 Live, a lot of the stuff he does in this is crazy, and it just doesn't get a lot of views or like looks on it because nobody watches 205 Live like that. So for him to do it on here in a championship match on a pay-per-view was actually pretty cool to see. There was another cool moment where Mustafa Ali got pushed off the top turnbuckle to the outside, but he did a flip and then hit his little tornado DDT on Daniel Bryan on the outside, which was pretty cool. Kevin Owens hit a stunner for a near fall, hit a pop-up powerbomb for a near fall. And then we get to the ending of this match where it's just Daniel Bryan and Mustafa Ali fighting off because Kevin Owens got taken out by what happened to Kevin Owens? He got taken out by Eric Rowan with his heel kick. So the ending of this match saw Mustafa Ali fight off Daniel Bryan, essentially doing basically what Kofi Kingston did last time. He tried to go for his little tornado DDT before Daniel Bryan hit the running knee in midair, and that shit caught me off fucking guard. That shit was amazing. It was a running flying knee in midair, and he won the title. After the match, Eric Rowan picked up Mustafa Ali and choke slammed him because, you know, Mustafa Ali's position right now is just to be the guy that gets beat up, but he also fights back, you know, kind of like the underdog essentially. So I don't know what's going on, what's gonna happen to Mustafa Ali. I kind of feel bad because I feel like whatever Kofi Kingston is doing, that's supposed to be Mustafa Ali. I hope, you know what I'm saying? I hope that they do something with him and Samoa Joe at WrestleMania, but it looks like Samoa Joe's gonna face John Cena, which is another match I'm actually looking forward to it, so as long as Samoa Joe actually wins the match. So the next match we end up getting is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, with the stipulation that if Becky Lynch wins, she gets added into the WrestleMania Raw Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, which doesn't make any sense because Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble and they just seem to not respect that. Basically, this feud has been so up and down that I'm like starting to really lose my interest in it. It started off really good, and then they start doing this dumb shit where they were suspending Becky, and Becky would just continue to show up as if she's not suspended. You have Triple H saying don't listen to the fans or whatever the fuck he said. It's just this storyline has been up and down everywhere. Then you had Ronda Rousey turn heel. Then I don't know, bro. And then WWE is really starting to kill Becky Lynch for me because I was really into Becky Lynch when she quote unquote, I wouldn't even say turned heel. She just decided to become an anti-hero, kind of like Stone Cold. And she just walked around like she run the place, whether she was champion or not. And maybe we'll see what happens when she actually wins the Raw Women's title at Mania. But she just walked around like she owned the place. And that's why I like Becky Lynch. She went from a badass to just a sympathetic babyface, but she's just being taken serious this time instead of her previous babyface stuff where she just made all type of bad puns and nobody really cared about Becky. And I don't like this what WWE is doing with Becky, where they're just trying to get sympathy for her. But why can't Becky Lynch just be a badass? Why can't she just be a badass? She was a badass before they did this whole leg injury thing. It's really starting to like get on my nerves why they're doing this. It doesn't make any sense. How do you go from being a badass anti-hero to being a sympathetic babyface? Because that's all WWE does is make sympathetic babyfaces. Maybe, you know, sometimes we need a fucking badass babyface. Do you know what would happen if they did this to Stone Cold? Stone Cold would not, I don't know if Stone Cold would be as big as he was, but say Stone Cold goes from being a beer drinking, ass kicking, stunnering everybody to him just being a sympathetic babyface. That would just kill the whole thing. And as for this feud, this shit just gets more confusing and it has more twists and turns than a roller coaster. Because I don't know what's the direction of it. We have people turning heel, people turning face, people, I don't know. So the match itself was like basic as fuck. It was just Becky Lynch getting her knee destroyed by Charlotte. Becky Lynch a fight back. And then when Charlotte hit the figure four, Ronda ran into the ring, punched Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch won by DQ, which means that she's added into the match. I'm pretty sure tomorrow on Raw, they're going to have Vince take Becky Lynch out the match as if WrestleMania isn't 4 weeks away. Take her out the match, and then she's going to have to win some match like the week before WrestleMania, and she's going to be in the match. I don't know what the fuck was going on. After Ronda punched Becky Lynch, which doesn't make sense because I thought that she's no more Mrs. Nice bitch, and like she's just going to beat the fuck out of everybody. Instead, she just helped Becky Lynch get into a match, which makes her odds of winning the title slimmer. This whole shit doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sense out of this. It doesn't make sense. I guess I just have to see what they do tomorrow on Raw to see how they explain this, because from the looks of it, it seemed like Rousey just doesn't care about anything. You know, this whole thing went around when she made that video basically calling wrestling fake and stuff, and she's just trying to get as much heel heat as possible. I don't know. I don't know what this feud is. I don't know what this feud has turned into. I know what it used to be, and now it's been turned into something else. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. But anyways, I've been talking about this match for way too fucking long. So I have to mention this because it's very important. So we had the final Elias little thing. He came out for another song, got boos from Cleveland. He actually had a funny line at the end. He was like, "Thank you and good night. I love none of you." So after that, Lacey Evans came out, and I just rolled my eyes because I'm sick of this Lacey Evans shit where she just walks out to the ring after random segments. I don't know how this is supposed to get her over. Last time I checked, this is a wrestling show and you wrestle and have good matches to get over, but I guess you could just walk out and just like walk around and that's how you'll get over in WWE apparently, or at least that's how Vince thinks of it. So after that, Randy Orton literally came out of nowhere and just RKO'd Elias, and then Randy Orton celebrating, and then AJ motherfucking Styles hits a phenomenal forearm on Randy Orton, which is pretty much going to set up for their match at WrestleMania, which is a match I've been looking forward to since the brand split. So we finally get to the main event, which is the third reunion of the Shield versus this team of Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley. These three have been pretty much linked together since, what, December, I guess? Yeah, December, and it's February. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to be fucked up what I'm going to say, but this match was okay until we got to the last 5 minutes of it. That's been a recurrent theme of this show. It's like the matches have been good, but the 5 minutes have made it better. I'll say okay, and it's made it good. So basically, this match was the Shield doing their little cute tag moves, and then eventually Dean Ambrose, who has always been looked at as the weaker link recently, just got the dog piss beat out of him until eventually he tagged in Roman for the hot tag. Roman hit his stuff. Then eventually we got to a point where Seth and Dean were fighting Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre to the outside. Seth hit a dive off of like where the fans were, like not like, I'm not explaining it. Where the fans were, he jumped off of it onto them. They pretty much no-sold it for a minute because Roman was about to set up for the Superman punch, and then Baron Corbin hit the deep six for a near fall before the brawl spilled back into the ring. It got to a point where the Three Stooges, I'm going to call this group with Drew McIntyre, the Three Stooges eventually fought off the Shield before the Shield eventually fought them off. And then, let's see, and then what happened was Seth Rollins curb stomped Bobby Lashley on top of a table. The table didn't break, it was an announce table. Roman Reigns speared Baron Corbin, and then they hit the triple powerbomb through the table from Drew McIntyre. Get back into the ring, they start beating up on Baron Corbin all stupid, you know what I'm saying? Dean Ambrose hit the dirty deeds before Seth Rollins said, and I quote, "Let's burn this motherfucker down," which makes me just love Seth Rollins even more. Before hitting the curb stomp, and then Roman Reigns, they set him up for the triple powerbomb, and they won the match. After that, the Shield basically celebrated. They all hugged each other as if Dean Ambrose didn't just like do all the shit he did to Seth Rollins a couple months ago. Did the little Shield fist bump, and we end the show. Now, there's something I want to mention about this match. There's been a very big emphasis because there's been, news about Dean Ambrose leaving WWE, saying he's not renewing his contract after WrestleMania, which I think is total bullshit. I think Dean Ambrose is going to stay in WWE. I just think he probably like how you say something but you don't mean it. And I'm pretty sure this is a storyline setup. It has to be a storyline setup for Dean, like to make Dean more important. Because I do feel like Dean has felt unimportant recently. And I felt like the best way to make him feel important is to make him feel as if he's about to leave. I don't think he's going to leave WWE when his contract ends. If he leaves, that would actually be a very surprise to me. Because WWE has been mentioning Dean leaving on commentary for a while now. And from just the way he's just been booked on TV, like him losing all these matches and stuff, it just seemed like he's not leaving, but they're setting up for something. And the emphasis behind this match was just like one more time, Shield reunion one more time, because, Dean is leaving and you just never know what is going to happen from then on. I thought Dean would have turned on the Shield at the end. It was like a genuine little moment at the end of the show because, there's a kind of a rumor, but there's a thing where Dean might face Roman at Mania, which will be interesting because Dean and Roman could have a nice match at Mania. But I'm just harping on at this point. Thank you for sitting down and watching my review. Make sure you like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Do everything you can do to support a brother on YouTube and social media and everything else. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace. Shit, what the fuck is wrong? Peace.